Okay, so the second big area we'll talk about is stuff. Stuff you'll need and the stuff you'll want. Let's first talk about the stuff you'll need. The first thing you're going to need is water. And I usually just have, most bikes come with a water holder. I have a big nice one. It's thermal. It keeps the water nice and cold for me. The second thing you'll need is a helmet. And this is called a nutcase helmet. There's several different designs. You can see this one I have that Eric has. It just lets you express yourself a little bit. The next thing you'll need is an air pump. These are really pretty easy to use. They're almost foolproof. Any brand will do. And just make sure that you look on your tire for the amount of maximum air that you can put in. But you're supposed to look at your air every week. I check my tire level every week and it's usually down about 10 pounds. So don't go on your bike without, at least checking your. The last thing you'll need is a little bike oil, and any kind is okay. This is called Rock and Roll. This is what my bike shop recommends. The only time you should do it is when your bike chain is shiny, bright silver. It seems counterintuitive, but that's the way it works. So you want it to have a black look to it, greasy, dirty almost. And when you apply this, you put it on and then you wipe it off and then do it through the whole chain. Okay, now for the cool stuff you'd like for your bike. This is where you have all kinds of, there are so many different things you can get. But for me, here's some key things that I have. Number one, I have a mirror on my bike so that I can see who's behind me. I'm always freaked out about somebody's going to get me, so it's one of my things. But also, it's a good thing to look before you pass somebody to make sure nobody's coming up from behind you. The second thing I have is a little speedometer. It tells me how fast I'm going, it tells me how many miles I'm going, etc. Okay, the next thing I have is a little bell. You don't need that, but it is kind of a cool little thing to tell people that you're coming up behind them. You can always use your voice, so we'll talk about that in the safety tips in a minute. The other thing I have is a cell phone holder where I can play my music and call people if I need help or anything like that. I also have these cool little bike cages, and I have taken off the straps. I know I'm probably should not have done that, but I'm sure I'm going to get comments on that, but I take them off because I like to be able to take my feet out quickly if I lose my balance or anything like that. But they still give you the same benefit, probably not the same exact benefit, but they give you a close benefit, which is you can pull up. You can push down and then pull up, which gives you more power, and it makes it easier to pedal and push forward. So I really like the feature of it. I just didn't like the straps. And the next thing is this cushion. I absolutely love this seat cushion. The reason I use this seat cushion is because I absolutely hate those pants with the cushions because I feel like I've got a diaper on. I absolutely hate the look of it. I feel like I'm walking like this. I just hate it. I also have gloves. These are my summer gloves, and my summer gloves have short little hands like this. I also have the longer pair for winter. But you can see I always get a big thick pad. Some of them don't have any pads, so make sure you get some with pad. If you're gonna buy them, do that. The next thing I have is this Bolero, and this protects me in the sun. It's cool, it's light, it's easy to put on, and it's called DeSoto Skin Cooler. Now this is the best one I've had. It's expensive. It's like $45 each. But I just absolutely love it because it's cool, and when you sweat, it wicks and it cools you down really, really well. The next thing I have, I told you I had a lot of gadgets, is mace. And again, because I always think somebody's after me, but it'll also protect me from any kind of animal that's after me, whatever the case may be. Short story, it makes me feel better, and I just clip it right here and off I go. So that's a nice little thing. And then once you get really serious, like I said, it never ends. I've got this little backpack we attach it onto my bike, and I got the cheap version, and I just put a little bungee cord around it. You can buy really expensive ones. So what do I keep in there? I've got a bike lock, which I think is key for everybody, and make sure you get a nice thin one, light one. Those big heavy ones will just weigh you down. You can really feel the weight. Of course, here's our bungee cord that straps it on. I always have some money. I've got some extra tubes. I've got suntan lotion in here. I mean, you know, it becomes a purse basically. But it's a great little pack for a short day trip into town and so forth. And then what I do is when we lock our bike, I just take it with me like a purse. You know, it's got a little strap you put on it, and off you go. So it's just perfect. And then if you really get serious, I've never opened these, but these things come down into two big trail packs, you know, if you're going on an overnight thing or something like that. I also have a light here that I use, and I also have a light for my helmet so that when I go on night excursions, sometimes we do some night trips into the city and do different, you know, events and things like that. Another thing you may want is a bike rack. It helps you expand outside your neighborhood and get to some really fun, interesting places. Put your bikes on your car and off you go to various assorted places. We went to Assateague Island and brought our bikes with us and rode all over that place and just had a ball. You can do it in your downtown, in your city, at your lakes, whatever the case may be. But a bike rack's another one that is a nice thing to have. So that's all the stuff you need and all the stuff you may want. So that's it. And I hope something here has helped you live your best retirement. And if you have any other tips or ideas on biking, please join the discussion on liveinretirement.com. Let's talk. We have a Facebook group called Live in Retirement, Let's Talk.